So y'all, honestly, I woke up this morning not feeling the whole Sunday dinner thing. So let's go make some ribeyes with a couple of sides, right? So the sides I chose to go with was some Brussels sprouts and some twice baked potatoes, right? So for the meat, we are going to start the seasonings off with the infamous Linda's Country Kitchen seasoning. Link in bio if you want to go grab you some. Change your life, right? So after that, we went in with some wood fire garlic from Kinder's, right? We got ahead and sprinkle a little of that razzle dazzle on there. And then after that, I went in with some Worcestershire sauce, right? So I did a little couple of pats of that. I don't measure, so I can't tell you what the measurement is, just that much. You see that? That much, right? So then after that, we went in with some black pepper. Now that's all the seasoning you're gonna need for this to get this taste that I have, right? So after we slap it, flip it, and rub it down, we're going to put that to the side and start on our baked potatoes. So you're going to line your baked potato pan with parchment paper, right? You're going to wash the potatoes, wash them, and then line them in your pan. You're going to put some avocado oil or olive oil, whatever your preference, and some salt, and then you're going to cover it up. You're going to set your preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and then you're going to put that bad boy in there. Boom. For about 45 to minutes to an hour. So now we're going to start on the Brussels sprouts. So we're going to start with some avocado oil. We're going to do a little salt and a lot of pepper, obviously. And we're going to go in with some salt after that. And after we go in with the salt, then we just going to sprinkle the last little bit of Linda's Country Kitchen seasoning that I had left in this bag, right? So after we start that, we're going to put that aside, right? And then we're going to start the stuff for the baked potatoes. So I fried up a couple of pieces of bacon. And then after I fried them, I cut them up and I put them to the side, right? So now we're going to get back to these Brussels sprouts. So now I lined the pan with the Brussels sprouts with the same pan that I cooked the bacon in, right? So this is it before it goes in. And then halfway through it, we're going to glaze it with this, right? So now this is halfway through, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and put the glaze on. So now they pretty much done. You just want to get it to a good consistency of where the glaze is going to stick to it, right? So put that back in there, and now it's time to cut open the baked potatoes, right? So one by one, you're going to cut open your baked potatoes. Then you're going to scoop out the middle of the baked potatoes. Don't be like me. Don't do like me and scrape out damn near every potato, and it ain't nothing left but the little peel part. No, you want to leave at least a little bit so you can have some structure to work with when it's time to refill them, right? So as you can see, I only had one like that, right? So then I said, forget it. Let's get back into these Brussels sprouts real quick though. Boom. Coming out the oven. This is what they look like. So now let's get into the stuffing. So I use the potatoes. I use a pat of butter, some salt, some pepper. Then I went in with a little bit of cream cheese. And then I went in with some cheese. So once I got all that in there, then I added the bacon, right? So then you want to mix that up. Me personally, I didn't think that was enough cheese. So as I started mixing, I seen that my preference was like a little bit more cheese, right? So then I stirred it up, and then I added some more cheese to the top of that, and then I stirred that up. And now it's time to stuff the potato skins. So I went ahead and added the mixture back into the potato skins. And then I pop that bad boy back in the oven for about 30 minutes. Now it's time to get this steak popping. So I started off with a little avocado oil. I added about 2 tablespoons of butter, and then I added my steak. So you want to cook it on about 4 minutes per side, 4 to 5 minutes. So this is 4 minutes on one side, right? This is what you want. You see that color and that good sear? That's what you want, right? So I'm giving you a little close up as I add the aromatics. So I added a sprig of rosemary, some garlic that I chopped up, and then I added some onions around it, right? So then I shake that up and I let that kind of sit there for about a couple of minutes. So now it's time to take that marinade that you seasoned the steak in, and you might as well just add that to the pot too, because that's not nothing but flavor, baby. If you know, you know, right? So we're going to add that in there, and then we're going to just let her sit there and do her thing for a couple of seconds. And then I threw her back in the oven after I took her out. So this is the end result of the Brussels sprouts. They are finally out and they ready to be plated, right? So now this is the steak. Get into that steak, baby. Get into that steak. Okay, I cut it. I cut her up. I'm getting ready to plate her. I do not like my steak well done. For anybody who likes well done steak, that's your preference. Then you leave her in there until it's soup. For this is how I like mine. Trust me, if you never tried it before, don't knock it until you try it, right? So now, after I cut her up, I probably let her sit there for a good 5 minutes until I felt like it was time to plate. So you see that right there? I'm not going to eat that part. My son like his that way. I don't like my shit like that, right? So, all right. So now after I finish cutting the steak, it's time to get into it, right? So now it's time to plate. So, okay. I lined my little couple of pieces up because I'm just fancy like that. Then I added a little onion, garlic, and that rosemary on top. And then I added the twice loaded baked potato. When I say this meal was everything but the kitchen sink, my dude, it truly was. So now this is the masterpiece. When I tell you 10 out of 10, everything on the plate was a win. Baby, if you tried any of these recipes any other way and you just don't like it, please try it this way and then come back and let me know how y'all liked it. All right.